W's. Anyways, for the last week or about 4 days, I was in Atlanta. I think I was only there for 3 days, actually. Yeah, I got there. Yeah, I was only there 3 days. Jesus Christ. Shit. But anyways, I was supposed to get there. I was supposed to get there 2 days earlier than I did. But going there originally, my flight was supposed to be at about 6:30 p.m. I go to the airport, everything's fine, whatever, and I'm just waiting there, and my flight ends up just getting delayed, and delayed and delayed and delayed and keeps getting delayed. She's not calling me out. She knows better. I call her out. But anyways, it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and it got eventually canceled by the end of the night. By like it was like 10 p.m. And I'm supposed to be on 2 flights. There's like a connection, so I was going to miss the second flight. So there's no way I was getting to Atlanta, and I was bummed out about that. I was like, fine, whatever, I'll go the next day. I was gonna go at 6 a.m. They gave me a rerouted flight at 6 a.m. There was no second flight. I noticed that at like maybe, I don't even know, midnight or something. So like when they rerouted me, they gave me a flight at 6 a.m. and I'm like, fuck, that sucks, whatever. But they didn't give me a second flight. So I noticed that maybe at like midnight. Gail, I did not ask you to figure that out. I would not ask you to do that. You misheard me. You literally misheard me. But anyways, they didn't give me a second flight. It's midnight, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll figure it out right before I go. So I am like, I called them at like maybe 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. And they tell me, they're like, oh yeah, you can't, you actually can't get on the 6 a.m. flight. You're gonna have to get on the 3 p.m. flight. And I'm like, fuck, okay. So I stayed up all night till then. All night, like until like 6 a.m. or whatever. And I'm like, God damn it. So like now I'm delirious. I barely have any sleep. And I have to go to the airport, like kind of not early, but I get a little bit of sleep. I end up missing my flight at 3 p.m. So I missed my flight because I'm a dumbass. I wasn't even doing anything. I was just hanging out with my fucking roommate in my kitchen. Okay? So I was a dumb ass, and I got so mad at the guy behind the counter because listen to this. I missed it by 3 minutes. 3 literal minutes. He goes, I get there and I'm like, he's like, you checking in? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what flight you got? And I'm like, Charlotte to AVP, or I mean, not AVP, Charlotte to ATL. And he's like, oh, he's like, that's too late. And I'm like, what? I'm like, my flight's in like 45 minutes. He's like, no, it's actually in 42 minutes. And he points up to the clock. He's like, if you see over there, you're 3 minutes late. And I was like, I literally want to fucking light you on fire. And I'm like, I will kill you. And he's like, there's nothing I can do. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, I understood the situation, that there was nothing that you could do. So I got so fucking mad. I'm like outside, and I'm outside, literally like, I was upset. Okay. Cause like, I really wanted to hang out with all my friends, first of all, but I'm also a very cordial person. I'm on time for my shit. Like I just am, like for like everything. I'm always early. Like I don't know. Like I'm always on time. I'm responsible with that kind of stuff. And I fucking was so mad at myself. Like I was so fucking mad at myself. I was like frustrated, and I don't know. But anyways, so my first initial reaction is I'm freaking out, right? I'm outside the airport. By the way, Alice, thank you for one more sub, and Vonnie and Finley. I'm outside the airport, like freaking out. I eventually calmed down enough Then I'm like, okay, I can just get a flight at a different airport. Yeah, I know, Gail. I was like, I can get another a flight at a different airport. That's fine, whatever. The closest one is an hour and a half away. So I drive there. I get in my car. I drive there, and I get on or it's supposed to be a flight to Charlotte and then to Atlanta again. Basically the same thing, but like from a different airport. So I spend another however much money because it's on a different airline. And then that flight gets canceled. It gets delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and then canceled just like the first night. So I am now because it's because of the same thing. I mean, because of the same issue. It was just weather related, like fog related actually, because it was like really foggy. But the reason why it had to get, or I mean, I guess the reason why it didn't come or it didn't like make it to the airport was because it was foggy and they had to divert in the middle of the air. Like the plane has to come to the airport that you're at to take you to somewhere else, right? So like, you know, like they don't just like stay at that airport all the time. Like you get what I'm saying. So the the flight that's supposed to come to my airport and pick me up diverts to the fucking airport that I live next to, that I initially tried to get there to by. So like, it's literally just like a cruel fucking joke. Like I'm literally in a simulation and they're just fucking with me. So then I had to drive an hour and a half back to my house and get on the next flight, which was at 6 a.m. So then I had to stay. This was late at night already. I had to fly or drive home at like midnight, and the the next flight is at 6 a.m. So I stay up for 6 a.m. and I make it to Atlanta at about noon. I have to like Uber to the venue and whatever. And I get there and Gail just makes fun of me all day for sleeping. Getting mad at me because I'm taking a nap. The end. That's my story. I wanted to hang out too, Gail. Okay. Yeah, the world was fucking on me. The world did not want me to fucking... I got owned. But it's fine. We made it. We made it. And then I just ended up staying an extra night. So it was fine. I honestly thought... I didn't know that they were going to be staying like as long as they were. So I just extended my my stay. Fuck. Just sucked. But I made it, dude. And it was honestly, it was a great time. It was a really great time. For many different reasons. I saw so many people that I haven't seen in what feels like a lifetime. I like just seeing people's faces like, holy fuck, I haven't seen you in so long. Like at least like 5 years. So that was really weird. And some of them like 6 years and etc. And that was strange. But what I was gonna say is it was definitely good. It was closure for everybody. I mean, obviously, like I'm not important to the lore of issues or anything like that. But for me, like I was a fan of issues like before I was even friends with them. Like they've been a band since 2012, I think, or 13 was their like first music or whatever. So I don't know. Like I've just known them for a long fucking time, and it was just weird that I became friends with them after even knowing of them before I became friends with them. It was weird because I knew of Josh on YouTube. Like your eyes are soggy. You want me to give the you want me to give the story? You want me to give this full circle story? So when I was like 17, 18, I was an up and coming man on the hunt for a trying to become a metalcore drummer in a successful band of some kind. And I had nothing going on in my area, so my outlet was YouTube. And YouTube was starting to pop off a little bit with drummers back in the day with like Luke Holland and like, I don't even know. There was a few like Cobus and there was a few. But anyways, Josh was somebody that I randomly started watching. Like my YouTube algorithm randomly showed me Josh when he was probably like 22 years old or some shit. And I was like, I watched him. I was like, damn, this guy's pretty good. He does metalcore just like me and plays to like rap songs sometimes and blah, blah, blah. And so I watched him. He was like just on my radar in general. But one day, I was a big fan of What Was Me. Like What Was Me was like a big part of my early like scene metal whatever life. Like they were my favorite band at one point. And so like I naturally like obviously was going to like gravitate to anything that they were doing. And they didn't break up, but their singers left and they made a new band, which was Issues. And Issues was so fucking sick. I thought it was so awesome. And especially because like I was a huge fan of Tyler Carter and Michael. Like they were just like fucking, I just looked up to them. They were like idols to me at that time. And so they made Issues, and I really liked the first, I forget what their first song was in general. Yeah, I get it. Shitty dude, but like, I mean, I'm sorry. He wasn't shitty back then, but like, was King their first song? But either way, first song, I was like, damn, this shit is so fucking sick. Ended up listening to their EP like literally every single day on the way to school. On the way to, it was King of Amarillo. I used to listen to their EP literally every day on the way to class as a freshman in college. And I literally hated my life in college. I hated everything. I just like was not having fun. It just like, I don't know. I went to college for what I thought I would have enjoyed my whole life. I thought that I was going to like computer networking and IT and blah, blah, blah. Hated it. So I just hated my life at school and I was very antisocial. So I would listen to their music literally to and from my dorm to literally dorm class, listen to their music the entire time and for that whole year. And then randomly Josh joins the band and I'm like, what the fuck? This random YouTube guy that's like this fucking sick drummer on YouTube that I follow is just randomly in my favorite band. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, dude, I'm stoked to hear what his drum parts are going to be for this music and blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, he's like one of the best drummers of our fucking existence and makes the coolest music. So I'm like, damn, this band is so fucking sick. And I randomly, by chance, happened to get into Motionless in White the year after that happened, or like the year that happened. So I I got the job to go to Warp Tour or to do Warp Tour in 2014, which was like May, when I was like told that I was gonna be doing it or whatever. And I was just looking at the lineup. I was like, dude, like, this is fucking insane. Like, I have to, I don't know. I need to become friends with these bands. Like, I need to like watch these bands and like whatever. And I could kind of tell like that Josh like kind of seemed like on the same page sort of as me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he seemed approachable to me as opposed to like other like drummers in the scene for some reason. But anyways, I just like literally the first show of Warped Tour, maybe the second show, I watched them on side stage, use my side stage privilege, my cool guy privilege, to watch them. And I was like literally mesmerized, first of all, like taking videos of them and shit, just like, dude, this is fucking insane that I'm like side stage for Issues right now. Like, this is crazy. But anyways, they finished, blah blah blah. No, this wasn't the Pokemon year. They finished, or wait, was it? No, it wasn't Pokemon year. Because they had the that was when Pokemon Go was, I believe. But anyways, I met Josh, like, as soon as they finished, I saw him. And I was like, dude, you guys are so, like, I had my paint on my neck and shit. Like, I'm still, like, I'm looking like fucking 10-year-old Vin. Like, actually, like, 17-year-old looking ass. Like, you know. But anyways. Yeah, I approached him. I was like, dude, you guys are so fucking sick. And he was like, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, are you the drummer for Motionless? And I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We were just talking. And, I don't know, we just like hit it off immediately. And then he was like, yo, you want to go get catering with us? And I was like, sure. What? Yeah, it was catering. So, want to go get catering with us? I was like, yeah. Went to go get catering with him. Became like boys, like not boys, like, I don't know, but became like sort of like friends right off the bat with like him and AJ and Ty. So I went back to their bus and I was just hanging out and whatever. And we were in the back lounge, just me and Josh and somebody else. I can't remember, but we were just talking and I was like, yo, have you ever, I forget how he brought up fucking video games, but I was like, you ever played World of Warcraft? And he was like, bro, me and my best friend D growing up, he's like, that's literally all we played. He's like, you play WoW? And I was like, bro, me and my best friend Mitch, when growing up, that's all we played. And he was like, what? And we literally like immediately just like became friends on the spot. It was literally just like immediately like, bro. And then from then on, we were just friends. Like, we literally on that Warp Tour, we hung out every single day. Like me, him, and it was like me, Ty, AJ, basically us three, kind of. But we rode scooters all the time because I had a Razor scooter that I rode around on Warped Tour because that's what the cool guys did. I don't know, but we all had Razor scooters that we would ride around the lots and shit. And Ty is a fucking madman on a goddamn scooter. So I'm like riding my scooter and he's like, yo, you ride scooters? And I'm like, not really. And he's like, let me see that thing. And he just goes fucking crazy on the scooter. And this is like the first like 2 days that I like know them. And they like, just from those two things, Ty, like if you know Ty, he fucking loves like anything like that. Rollerblading, scootering, like anything like that. Fucking loves that shit. So like he immediately thought that like I was cool just from that. And then the other thing was World of Warcraft with Josh. So it's just funny that the two nerdiest, like, the two like most lame nerdiest things is what got me to be like super close to these guys. And so that's what like made it like, I was like, damn, these guys are like my actual friends. And I've never had like actual like friends like that I'm like super close with on tour, honestly, like pretty much since, which is insane. So yeah, that's pretty much how like it's just like a crazy full circle moment. It's crazy. Yo, you're not a band. What the hell? It's much different with bands, dude. Band people have egos. Like there's just like it's different. They're like, you know.